Shalom.
Shalom, family.
We have an Ask Watchman question, and I'm going to have Deborah. She's going to read it. It's about DNA.
Okay. Let me go to that question really quick here. Okay, the question is, I would like to have my DNA test to identify which of the 12 tribes I belong to, if any. Can you recommend a lab or facility that can do this? I would also like to have a chart or diagram that shows each of the 12 tribes' distinctive DNA markers. Do you have such a chart?
Well, our answer to that is no, we don't. We don't have such a chart. DNA. Okay, I want you to think about this for a minute, right? Okay. Now, this question pretty much asks, they want to identify which 12 tribes they belong to. And they said something about a chart that would show the distinctive DNA markers. Okay, in order to do this, they would have to have someone that's directly linked to each and every tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have to have their blood. So we know they don't have the blood of Jacob's sons. Okay, we know that for a fact, that they don't have the blood of any of the tribes. So what are they doing when they do this DNA? What they're doing is they'll do DNA and they'll say, well, basically, we believe that you're from the tribe, not the Limber tribe, that you're one of the Levites, based on this and based on that. Well, you have to have an original Levite blood in order to determine that. So what are they doing with this DNA? What they do with DNA basically is they could take my blood, right, and go in the area of Ghana, because I came from, my ancestors came from slave ships, so it came from Ghana, and they would take the blood of those people from Ghana and compare it to mine to see if I have the same DNA markers of the people that are in Ghana, and they can do things like that. But what if the people of Ghana or of a particular area were conquered by someone else? And you're taking DNA from these people that are over there now, but how do you know that? You get what I'm saying? This is how twisted DNA can be. Now, one point I want to bring out is that the scripture says that Abraham will be the father of many nations.
Yes.
So a lot of nations of people, groups of people and races have the Abraham's DNA. Esau had Abraham's DNA. Ishmael has Abraham's DNA. So, I mean, it's where can you go with DNA to prove that you are actually a Hebrew Israelite?
Right. And there's so many things to consider too. You have to ask yourself, when you ask this question too, I understand many of us want to know, and we think that there is a place that we can go to get these answers. We want to know if we can go to a facility or send out our samples to a company that can tell us, oh, you're from the tribe of Simeon or the tribe of Gad, and we think that they have it all mapped out. You have to ask yourself, who are these people that you're sending it to?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the same people who stole our identity. So are they going to be completely honest about things? You see, now they may be able to say, well, you have this particular marker or that particular marker, but notice many of them are claiming to have that same marker, which takes you back to the point that Brother Watchman was talking about. Esau was from the seed of Abraham.
That's right.
You see, and so was Ishmael. So when Abraham being the father of many nations, with him being just that, you're going to have some things that are going to overlap with us. But instead of people separating to say that this only proves that they're from the line of Abraham, everyone knows that the promise was not given to all of Abraham's children.
That's
It was
right.
only given to Jacob.
Jacob.
Okay,
That's right.
it was only given to Jacob, the son of Isaac, which was the son of Abraham.
That's right.
And if you don't understand that and know that, you will be tricked. This is why, and I want to show and explain why this is so dangerous.
Exactly.
You have a lot of so-called Gentiles now who are teaching that 8 of the tribes were Negro, but 4 of them were Caucasian.
That's right.
Now, in today's time, do that make any sense whatsoever? Okay, now, although so-called Black people can have children of any color, there is a difference in a child who's born light-skinned or albino and a child that is born straight up European.
Yeah.
It is a difference.
Or Asian.
Mm-hmm.
Or any other race.
Right.
Now. Yeah.
Exactly. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to use this DNA to link themselves to us so that we can accept them as us. And this is why you have so many that are going around saying now, and I'm not going to get too much into it because it's going to overlap into another lesson that we're about to do. So you have so many now trying to claim that the Chinese are Israelites and that the Latinos, I mean, you even have real Hebrew Israelites teaching some of this nonsense, trying to bring everyone into the fold and say that everyone is an Israelite. And so the scripture tells us, it says, give not that which is thine unto another nation, or that which is profitable unto thee to another people. That's and right. So many of us are trying to do just that. We feel like, well, we can't exclude other people. This ain't got nothing to do with exclusion.
Yeah.
This is our heritage, you see? And this whole DNA thing is being used to try to trick us into readily accepting people who say, look, I got the same marker you do.
It's actually Catholicism all over again. That's what Catholic means. That's what it means. It means universal. So they're trying to bring everybody into this thing. That's what the Catholics did, you see? And so it doesn't make any sense, when the scriptures forbid that, that's not scriptural, that everyone is of the seed of Jacob. Jacob has his family, and Esau had his family, and Ishmael had his family.
Yes.
And their descendants, so on and so on, you see? So, that DNA thing, I realized that years ago. I said, you know what, that DNA thing can't be right. How are you telling? Matter of fact, where is you have Abraham's DNA that you can compare other people's to? So what are you doing then? How are you getting Abraham's DNA? What are you doing? You're going over in the land of Israel, taking people's DNA to see if other people's DNA over in other countries line up with Israel's been conquered by so many different nations through the years. I mean, come on now. We have Babylon captivity, right? You have what happened in 70 AD. You have Rome. You have the Greeks. You have everybody that went through Israel. Even Napoleon, the French went through Egypt and all of those areas, right? So it's to say that you can get someone's DNA and tell them exactly what tribe they're from.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. That's just garbage. It's baloney.
You remember that? I think she was an Asian geneticist.
Yeah.
She said it's impossible. Yeah. They were trying to determine something about the Limba tribe. She said it's impossible. You can't do it.
You can't do it. That's right.
You can't do it. And anybody who claims that they can tell you that you're from the tribe of Simeon or Gad or Naphtali or anything like that. Anyone who claims that is just trying to get your money and rip you off. They can't tell you that. They don't know that information. Yeah. You see, one thing that I wanted to point out too about this whole DNA thing was so many people are really going after this. And we talk about this all the time about being grafted in. Grafted in. That's the most important thing, because there are some people that are darker than Yahoo and I that are more European than they are so-called Black. Did y'all hear what I said? That's right. And so if you find out that you have 25% West African and 10% Asian and 65% European,
Mm-hmm.
but you just so happen to look like Henry Louis Gates, because he's a good example of that.
Good example, yeah.
If you find out that you are majority European, you're going to be crushed, because then that would mean that you are not Israel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
After 3 generations, we talked about this many times before too, but if it's determined that your lineage is more closely related to that of Europeans, you're going to be crushed, because you're banking on being an Israelite, when it is more important at this stage in the game, because the marriage supper of the Lamb has not taken place yet. It's more important that you are grafted into Yahushua HaMashiach than it is to find out if you're an Israelite or not.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You hear what she said? It's more important for you to make sure that you're grafted in to Yahushua HaMashiach than to find out if you actually have the DNA of a Hebrew Israelite. That doesn't even matter.
Because you'll be crushed if you find out otherwise.
Yeah.
I know I would be. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would too, you know. But guess what?
Yes.
If that was the case, hey, I'm grafted in.
Yes.
You see, so that's what the bottom line is. We should be more concentrating on being grafted into Yahushua HaMashiach. That means being baptized in his name. That means repenting. That means receiving the gift of the Ruach. That means walking according to his word. That means treating his people right.
Yes.
You know,
loving his people.
Loving his people. That's right. That's right. And if you're the seed of those that have stolen from Yah's people, you better give some of that back.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I found out that I was majority anything other than an Israelite, like Asian or European or something like that, I would start my campaign of love, give love to the Israelites. Y'all will be able to get
that's right,
just about anything for me if I found out.
I'd be willing to come and work for you. What do you need done?
I'm sorry, I'll be apologizing. I know
I'll be they serving me. I'll be in their house and you need me, sir. I'll cook for you. I'll do whatever, you know. Man.
You know, exactly. And I know many of you, especially you Gentiles, may look at us and cringe and say, who do you all think you are? You think you're special or something? You know what's funny? We never did think we were special. As a matter of fact, we as so-called Black people knew that there was something on us, such as a curse, for us to be under the foot of our enemies in the way that we are. So that's it ain't got nothing to do with us thinking we're special, but finding out your identity is very important. It kind of reminds me of a child that was adopted, and they always felt out of place. But then one day they found out that they had real parents that they don't know, and they want to get to know their parents. And when they finally encounter them, they're excited.
That's right.
They're happy to know.
That's right.
Especially if that mother or that father embraces them. We have a right to that.
That's right.
But unfortunately, because some of you are so bitter in your hearts, you even want to take that from us.
That's right.
You even want to take that from us. We are entitled to that. If we are the children of Yah, if we are the so-called chosen seed, so be it.
So be it.
Don't be jealous. You know what I'm saying? You know why I say that? Because nobody has a problem with those white Jews claiming to be the chosen people. As a matter of fact, they get an outpouring of love, respect, and all kinds of things.
That's right.
They get all kinds of help and let us help Israel. Israel is entitled to help. Let us help her. You know, all of this different stuff about helping Israel when you think they're white looking just like you. But when you find out the so-called Negroes looking like us, that's when all of the help stops. Everybody turn the tap off and turn their heart off and close their pocketbooks up and shut their wallets down. That's when all of that stuff takes place. All of a sudden, they say, the scripture where it says, I will bless those that bless you and curse those that curse. They just tear that page out. It don't even matter to them no more.
You know, I had a Gentile tell me one time before that, he told me, he said, man, if people found out that the true people of Yah are Black and that the Messiah is Black, he said, I guarantee you, most of those that call themselves Christians that are white wouldn't even be doing this anymore. A Caucasian told me this.
Yes.
Sure did.
And he's one who believes in the truth. As a matter of fact, he was very instrumental in sharing some of it with us.
That's right.
And he actually said, he said, if white America knew that the Israelites were black and that Yahushua was black,
that's right,
that they would become atheists.
That's right.
And they wouldn't believe anymore. But the Most High had to send this strong delusion so that they could believe a lie. He had to send this strong delusion. Someone made a good point the other day on a post. They were talking about the Bibles. They had to believe this was them so that they can keep them all in print, so that we would have access to them and stuff. Because if many of them weren't under that strong delusion, and they were reading this book and they really in their minds and hearts and souls thought it was about us, then the story wouldn't sell. And so they wouldn't have been printing these on a large scale. Now, they did print some deceptions in there because some of the higher ups know who we are, but they wanted to deceive the masses. They wanted to deceive their people, and they wanted to deceive us. So they took our story and wrapped it in white flesh, or should I say not white flesh, more like pinkish or pale flesh, and called it their story.
That's right.
And I don't mean to be insulting to anyone. I'm just trying to make a point. You know what I'm saying? The same kind of point that anyone is trying to make when they're explaining or describing something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just trying to make that point. But yeah, they took our story and they made it their own. That's and everyone was okay with it.
Everybody's okay with it, So, well, I hope that explained things to you about the DNA and why we don't approve of the DNA thing, So, no, I wouldn't recommend anyone to you as far as where to go and get DNA. And that there is no such chart that shows DNA markers. If it is a chart, trust me, it's false.
That's right.
On that note, we're gonna say shalom.